So yesterday I recorded some video explaining about things I've figured out here in DC about wasted budgets and about surveillance upon people using all the world's a stage theory and actors paid by tax dollars who are shipped around the world, some of them even with diplomatic immunity, these families. However, I took out the most detailed and specific part of what I had to say yesterday in this video, because I don't want to point the finger specifically at certain people who I know who may or may not be something that I might just be thinking they are. However, what I say about these buildings is correct. Check it out. You know, I'm always thinking about like the big picture. I'm thinking about the whole planet here, not just the USA. We do not need to be surveilling our own people for no reason, wasting millions and hundreds of millions of dollars or billions every year, paying to have actors all over the world. Paying to have actors all over the world basically as U.S. secret agents. We don't need that. And we don't need a future where that's the norm for all governments on the planet. So worldwide, we need to stop this kind of abuse, not just here in the United States. And that's just real. Yeah, check it out. Check it out. So yeah, I'm asking for food, but not already opened food. If you've already opened your food, you should probably eat it yourself. And considering I've been drugged by people I grew up around when they came into city to see me, etc., etc., I think people need to stop fucking wasting their time giving homeless people half-eaten and fucking open food. Sorry, I'm not that desperate that I want to eat a sandwich that's already been opened. So fucking retarded. And this guy over here was just digging through the trash. I wonder if he'd be willing to eat it, if he even knows what's going on around here. And if he knows what's going on around here, he wouldn't eat that shit neither. I don't think. If he knew it was given directly to me, with some lady with a weird look in her face. Oh well. You know, the sad thing is I'm from this area, and I sit around and beg. Yesterday I begged for 3 hours and I got $11. Then today when I was at church, I decided to give the church the $11 I begged for yesterday. But the real sad thing about the United States is that old saying about Shakespeare, all the world is a stage. And if you look at like those old James Bond movies, you know, where those special agents came in to get all their special tools and to check in? Well, here in Washington, D.C., I've observed a lot of people. And so there's a lot of people collecting that money to be experimental actors in the public arena around other human beings. So you can imagine that $34 trillion in debt puts the American people a lot in debt. In fact, the estimate is over $100,000 each American person is in debt right now. So if you're an important person who's been surrounded by actors, sometimes 100 actors at once, that's the American budget. People used to accuse the Russians of having the KGB. But in the United States, we have worse because our budget is much bigger. So imagine if you're an important person and the United States government thinks you're a risk, or they don't know if you're a risk or not, or they just say you are for some reason as part of their plot to control the planet. Let's say they put 100 actors around one person. Well, those people probably are getting paid hundreds of dollars a day. Plus they get per diem, they get travel money, they have hotels, and they have budgets. So one of these actors might be maybe $500,000 a year for them to travel around the planet and be part of these social experiment plays to manipulate and control the planet. So here in Washington, D.C., I found 3 such buildings where these actors come in and out of. And I'm sitting in front of one of them actually by coincidence. See, I became enamored of this building when all my things were burned overnight on January 9th after I'd been beaten almost to death 10 days earlier on December 30th. So when all my things were gone and all I had was sweatpants, a pair of shoes, a couple t-shirts, this leather jacket, and a backpack with a few things in it, this is where I slept, because this doorway is one of the most warm doorways in Washington, D.C. And I have footage of me here with other homeless people when it's snowing right over there, right there. So when I beg, I come here to beg. And some days I get a couple dollars, and some days I barely get anything. And some days I get food, and some days I don't. But one thing I've come sure to notice is that it's not just white people fucking over the United States and the entire planet. It's people of all different heritages and backgrounds, people from all over the world, but they come to the United States to get their acting jobs with their diplomatic immunity families. So I grew up in Reston, Virginia, and the Corcoran School of Art is right over here. And I have Reston families who are integral members of the Corcoran School of Art, but they don't step forward, these families, to help me as a homeless man 20 minutes from home. Because I grew up in Reston, Virginia, the planned experiment to figure out how to, shall we say, franchise the entire future of suburban living across the planet. So this building here, which is called Washington Square, is one of the buildings where these fake actors come in and out of. And the reason I can say that is because there's been a fake actor coming to the Shiloh Baptist Church that I attend pretty much for a year now. And he's sitting there made to look like a person named Troy from another church, Shiloh Old Site. And the other week, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I said, hey man, you look a lot like Troy from Shiloh Old Site, but you're not him. Are you related to him? And he said, no. But then when I was just begging here a few days ago, he came in and out this door and I was like, hey, what's up, fake Troy? And he looked at me and then he went inside. There's also two buildings like this over near the White House at 17th and Pennsylvania. And so at 17th and Pennsylvania, the building where Pete's Coffee is and the building where Starbucks is, those are also buildings where these actors for the United States government who surround people all over the world on a daily basis. This is where they conglomerate and they come to get their orders and to check in. So 17th and Pennsylvania, and this right here is at Connecticut and L Street. And this building's called Washington Square Plaza. So if anybody from foreign governments, or say the real street element, not the punks who tried to murder me, but you know, like the militants who don't stand for white people, they stand for black people. And trust me, in this global war of power, it is white versus black. And I'm 100% team black. I don't go for this white slave master shit, whether it's fucking coated with fucking cream coating and cereal and sugar and fucking maple syrup, or whether it's covered with fucking slave stripes like the slave stripes, the 7 red stripes of blood in the American flag. Now, I've been observing this for a few years now, and I've also observed them sending people around me. Now, I'm a homeless local man, but I grew up around a lot of really powerful families and important people. So I guess they thought it'd be fun to fuck me over, spending millions of American dollars, and for how many years, I don't know. Get it? Millions and millions of dollars rather than helping me as a homeless man here in DC 20 minutes from home. So that's what white power does. And that's why I'm for black people, for black power. It's not about your skin color, because all these white people that walk past me and ignore me as a suffering man, sometimes there's a pregnant woman here who gets ignored pretty well too. They don't all look white like this guy, not all white people. They're from all over the world, and they come here to the United States because they think it's neato and cool. They think they're some sort of new royalty above everyone. Because coronavirus, you know, it was so dangerous. It was so dangerous that if you had corona in your system, but you died of a car accident, they'd say that you died from corona so the hospital could get a few extra $1,000 for the extra tests. Now let me tell you something else about that jolly good thing. I just watched on ABC News about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a lunchtime broadcast because I was at the hospital doing my orthopedic healing, my occupational therapy. And they said some people don't get coronavirus, most likely because they have immunity from exposure to the virus years ago. But hey, world, they said it was a whole new virus and we were all gonna die. But we didn't. But I'm just telling y'all a couple dumbass facts from this land of Washington, D.C. Because yes, I am from here, and that evil cabal, or whatever the fuck everybody's looking for, All them families I grew up around in West Virginia, that's who they are. And they rely on releasing murderers, rapists, and pedophiles and slavers out of the prisons every day in this country so that they can pay them to do more crimes once they get out with their Babylon systems. But the sad thing is that it requires people to be pieces of shit. And it requires them to use that debt money that we're all paying to fuck over the entire population of the planet. So ask yourself this: when we have the largest population of incarcerated people on the planet, yet we're called the land of the free. Oh, me? My name is Nathaniel Shellhays Vizdos, and I might have to change my name just to be able to earn a paycheck or even get disability, because these crackers are so deep ingrained from Reston, Virginia. They travel around the world and take selfies of themselves at revolutions because they help instill the revolutions. And I'd really fucking hate to know what they're all at the root of. But one thing's for sure, they've surrounded me for a while, spending all of your tax dollars to fuck me over, and I'm just a homeless, mentally ill man trying to get some money to eat and for my medication. Because my medication's not covered by insurance. Because it's the only thing the hippies got right was cannabis. So my medical cannabis is not covered by my insurance, but every other fucked up drug, street drug known to man is covered by your insurance. Sometimes on the street they call it a different name. When you're a child, a little kid, and they give it to you, you don't know what it is. But when you get to high school and college and your friends want it from you on Friday night and they'll pay for it, that's when you realize your medication is just a party drug. So now I get to sit out here and keep begging. And no one cares. Why don't they care? Either one, because they were told not to care by the rich people around me that I grew up around, so-called friends and family, or they just don't give a shit because they don't fucking care and they represent the leaders of the world. This is where the leaders of the world of freedom are represented, and they don't care about suffering, hurting starveless people in the United States. And if they don't care about us and you keep voting for them and keep giving them your tax dollars, then you're basically giving them your money to murder people all over the planet and to drug everybody and to feed us poison in our food and to fucking kill anybody or shut anybody up or culture cancel anybody who stands up against them. So, watch. Yesterday I got $11 after 3 hours. I've got $5 today after an hour, so I decided to make a video about the pieces of shit that live in Washington, D.C. Young, old, and middle-aged, and from every corner of the earth.